What if you want to protect an electrical PCB that might be just about as delicate as an egg, but might be in an environment that is not so delicate, like a warehouse where a forklift might back into it? Well, you might make something like this. Something that is hard, but rubbery, so that it actually can give and flex and can absorb that shock without shattering itself, but also not damaging the thing inside. In this video, we're going to talk about how to design this type of an electrical enclosure so that you can keep your poultry fresh. So when designing an electrical enclosure at all, especially if you're going to design it to be used with 3D printing, you need to design for that process. 3D printing is very different from other processes. Injection molding doesn't allow thick, chunky parts, and machining doesn't really allow soft, rubbery parts because they end up getting torn apart very often. When you're designing like this, you have a completely different set of rules. So let's go ahead and start with the basic parts of this enclosure. Well, first of all, we're going to design it to be rounded so that it can deflect as much of the force as it possibly can. Ideally, it doesn't have to bear the brunt of the trauma every single time. It can just push it off to the side. So we're going to design this to be domed, and that's pretty darn easy. Once you have that core shape, you can go ahead and cut out the slot for the electrical enclosure. Again, noticing that you don't have to create a cavity around the outside. You can have these thick outer walls because you don't have to deal with shrinkage. But now you have much more protection to that outside so that it can actually squash and deform and absorb any sort of impact that it might run into. But then on the bottom, the standoffs themselves, again, make them thick, make them chunky, let them blend into the walls. You don't have to do a cylinder straight out that's standing like a tree alone in a valley. They can merge into the walls so that, again, you have something more durable. However, if you're wanting to be real clever, there might be a way where you could have the PCB mounted on like a shock isolated island to where those standoffs are able to absorb the impact from the outer enclosure, but that's a thing for a different video. But once that's done, you have the upper shell. With the upper shell, you can cut out a cavity as large as you want to, again, not having to worry about the thickness of the part because there is no shrinkage. And normally you might want to dome this out, but if you want to make it flat, that's fine too. Most printers can bridge that without a big issue. Now you have the design for an enclosure, but this is where the magic happens because the design of the actual geometry is only a part of it. After that, we get to start messing with the actual slicing of it itself, and we're able to do really awesome stuff with the interior infill. This material that we're using in this case is actually a TPU, so a rubber that is quite flexible or quite rigid if you really want it to be. So we're going to play with that. For this lower part, we're actually going to go ahead and use a lower infill of about 15 or 20%. So it is stiff. If it is mounted to a wall, this part won't really flex that much unless you get it all loose and then it can flex. But you have a lot of durability, but just a little bit of squishiness on the outside here so that, again, it can take some blows. Now this upper shell, we're going to make a little bit more rigid. So it sounds stiff, even though this sounds a lot more thumpy. This tougher outer shell makes sure that it can take an impact and a whack and that kind of stuff, but it still has just a tiny bit of flex to it just natively to the material. You can see right there. So it's not going to get torn apart, but it's able to be very stiff and deflect stuff rather than potentially absorbing or puncturing like this little softer version would be. So now if we go ahead and put an egg in this, it should be able to protect that egg pretty darn well while also not ruining it itself. This is the type of enclosure that you would mount up inside of a warehouse or in an industrial factory where it could potentially be impacted by stuff. People could run into it, people could bump into it, whatever it might be. This creates a very durable enclosure that looks pretty darn nice, is pretty darn affordable, and is way easier to make than having to make molds because you don't have to deal with all kinds of shenanigans of like cavities and that kind of stuff. So your design process is quicker. It also is generally cheaper, even though TPU is a bit more expensive to produce with. This part, unfortunately, can't really be automated very well because it has to be printed on a bed like this, which means that it's going to require manual rather than automated removal, and that increases the cost quite significantly. But again, given the context that you could either create a custom mold that will create thin walls that won't be as durable, or create a machined part that might not be as soft because you can't machine easily very soft materials because they just get torn up, this gives you the ability to create something in the happy medium to where you can get a lot of scale pretty darn affordably, and you can create something that is durable, reliable, and looks good. Also, by the way, you might not have noticed this, but on the sides of these, we apply just a little bit of noise to make sure that you can't really see the layer lines. So now it just looks like a piece of industrial powder-coated part. But there are a lot of other ways of actually designing these enclosures, and we talk about them over here. If you like this video and you want to see more, do please subscribe down below, and of course give us a comment and a share if you want, and let us know what other types of topics you want us to cover about the design of actual real manufacturable 3D printed parts. Have a great day, everybody.